Hello. Okay, so with MD2 hard out now, I have changed a lot of my way of thinking. And before I release videos for those, I want to just quickly get this banner over with. I personally think this banner is a straight up skip, and let's talk about why. Rodion, very simple. The coin power is ass, and the kit is ass. So 4 plus 2 plus 2, 6, 8, 4 to 8 range. Like, most units have 4 to 10 range, so her having -2 is already a pretty big deal. And the fact is, she just gains poise count. She doesn't gain potency anywhere. Like, look, all this is poise count, and then this is not even a poise count. She only gains like, what, 3 poise count from this. Yeah, so, yeah, the coin power here is meh, the poise count is also meh. So, I said before, if your poise is on a bad unit, then it doesn't really work. The poise has to be on a good unit. And I think some of you mentioned Nebulizer on good units, and I agree with that. I will be updating that tier list also in the future. But for now, let's talk about her. 6 plus 2 plus 2, 6 to 10 range. Really mid. Furthermore, she has a growth rate of 0.57. Okay, so really mid. At 15 plus shield, gain plus 2 poise count. Okay, sure, that's a big source of poise count. And then the hit gain a poise count, sure. And then skill 3, at 15 plus shield, you gain coin power plus 1. So this skill actually becomes not complete trash when you get this coin power. It is 3, 6, 9. 5 plus 9 is about 14, right? So that's pretty okay, but it's a skill 3. So yeah, you're not gonna get this a lot. And furthermore, the effect is nice, but you need to crit on the third coin specifically. Specifically the third coin. And if you miss your crit, or you crit earlier, then the chance to crit on the third coin just is lower. So this is a really unreliable fragility application. So she is not very consistent either in this regard. Defense-wise, she has a pretty high defense. That's because she's a tank. When you're a tank, you have a really high defensive growth rate. So you will get a bunch of defensive growth rate here. So as you can see, she's meant to be a tank, but honestly, why tank when you can Unga Bunga? That's my answer. So Rodion, straight skip to me. If I ever get her, I'll just put her on the bench, not even look at her. And for her support passive is 3 Resonance of Wrath. At the start of the combat phase, one ally of the lowest HP percentage gains 1 shield per 1 poise count next turn. So you get shielding. And if you're going for tanking, but tanking is not very good in this game, then you can go for this. Otherwise, don't bother. In the end, Unga Bunga is the way of the world. So Meursault's ID, Rhino, is actually quite good. Not super good, but he is medium. Like, he's straight mid. And the reason for that is his stat line here is basically the same as Meursault. He's not 35, so take note. That's why he's not 45 here and not 200 something here. But basically, almost similar stat lines. The coinage of Rhino is a bit better than Meursault though. I will say that. So, Rhino Meursault is supposed to be a tank here. He has 200 HP, 3 to 5 speed, 45 defense. So really thick character. Very good for tanking. Once again, tanking is whatever. But his coinage is also pretty decent. A lot better than Meursault in that it's all pretty okay. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's just an okay character. So it's really up to you if you want to bring an okay character rather than an OP character. So let's talk about what his skills here do. At 10 plus charge count, he gains a final power of +1, so that's pretty nice. At 7 plus speed, deal 25% extra damage. Okay, that's good. You know why? Because it's passive. If you own 5 Envy, and his first skill is Envy, at the end of the turn, max speed +2, capped at 6 per 5 charge count next turn. So he can raise his cap. The problem is you need to get to 7, and it only raises the cap, it doesn't raise the base. Which means that you are never always going to get 7 plus speed. So inconsistent. Although I admit, if you use Yisang's ego, then you will be able to trigger this a lot more. So yeah, you can combo to get this part, but it's a bit of a waste to just combo for this. But yeah, on hit, gain 2 charge count. Okay, so he's following the same same order as like a Reindeer or Wdon, in that his first two skills generate charge, the third skill consumes the charge. So this first skill here is the weakest one, +2 charge count, very low. Skill 2, Demolish. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. It's not bad. It is 9 in total, so that's 5 plus 9, that's 14. 5 to 14. At 7 plus speed, inflict +1 bleed count with this skill, so once again another speed requirement. On hit, gain 4 charge count, inflict 1 bleed count on a hit, and inflict 1 bleed count. So this character is meant to give you a lot of bleed count, but not a lot of bleed. So you need to get the bleed potency from somewhere else, for example Cloud Cutter. Then now we go to skill 3. Skill 3 is 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is a 6 plus 6, which is 6 to 12. But at 10 charge count, you get coin power +1, which changes it to a +3 here. So it becomes 6 plus 9, that's a 15. So my issue with this character is that he takes really long to charge. Yeah, so let's talk about this charge count first, right? Skill 1 gives you +2, skill 2 gives you +4. So you would need to take how many turns in order to get this, because remember that charge count lowers by 1 at the end of each turn, right? So if you get 4, end your turn, 3. Then you do it again, you get 4, then you 3, so it becomes 6. Then you get 4 again, becomes 10, but then you go back to 9. And then you go back, then you use any of the other skills, and then you get to 10. So it takes really long to get to 10 charge count. The reason why Dawn can get to the charge count faster is because she has +4/+4, so she has 8 on her skill 2, which is why her skill 2 is super good. And then there was another character, Reindeer Ishmael. Reindeer Ishmael gains +2/+2, so that's a 4. And then over here she gains 5, so she can also reasonably get to her skill 3. Meursault does not have any of that. He only has very low amounts of charge count gain. So he takes really long to get to this one, and takes really long to get to this one. So I don't like it at all. I will note that his defense skill here is meant to give you charge count as well. You need to get attacked while shielded, and if you know how guard works, when you guard, you get shield whenever an enemy attacks you. So that is how this works. I'm not sure if when you get hit and your shield breaks, will you keep getting charge count? Or if your shield is up, then you gain charge count, and then your shield breaks and then no more charge count. Something like that. Yeah, it's either those two options. If it's the option where you just keep getting charge count no matter what, even if your shield is broken, then it's very good. Well, not very good, it's just better than the other option. Because the thing is, right, you don't want to guard, you want to stagger enemies and kill them. Because this is like Ruina, you don't want to full turtle, because there's no like ego gift or abnormality that supports turtling. In Ruina, there was something called Blockma, where you use the floor of Hawkma and you just went for full block because there was a lot of gifts that gave you defensive power. For example, when you block, you do stagger damage. When you block, you do damage. Those things encourage you to block, but in this game, there's nothing to encourage you to block, so you'd rather not waste a turn blocking. So rather than use this block to gain charge count, I'd rather use an attack. Unfortunately, he gains charge really slow if it's just attacking. Yeah, really slow. So his coinage is fine, his charge count is mid. You can compensate for that by using Telepole. Telepole can give everyone charge count, so it's still pretty okay. Maybe in the future he'll also get his own ego, maybe Telepole Meursault or something to get himself more charge count. And after all, Meursault is the ego guy, so he has a chance of getting that. So when he does get that, then this will be a bit more consistent, we'll raise him up a little bit, but it's not really by that much because ultimately his damage output is not as crazy as a Rip Space, right? Yeah, so still pretty mediocre, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the rest of this stuff here, and then we can end this video. So at 10 plus charge count, you get all this power, but you also spend every single bit of that charge. Just like Rip Space, just like Mind Whip. You do the exact same thing where you spend 2, 3, 2, 3. And the reason why it's 2 and 3 here is because if you are partially charged and you use your skill 3, you will not get super punished, you just lose some value here. So you get 2 and then 3, and then let's say you only have 6 charge, right? So you consume 5 here, then you come to here, it won't trigger. So you get to keep 1 charge count. It's kind of a consolation, I guess. But yeah, it feels kind of bad to have something like this because you take a lot of effort to get to this 10 plus charge count and then you just dump it all immediately to get more bleed count. It's the whole point of the character, but it also feels bad because he needs some of that in order to do his skill 1 for final power and to get his speed up because he needs to maintain the charge count to get more speed. So skill 3 dumping all of his charge is pretty rough. Unless you can somehow get a lot of charge count, then you can afford to dump. So he's suffering from a bit of either missing an ego or missing some sort of synergy to make sure his charge count is kept high. So yeah, I am a bit sus about him. I think he's a very okay character in that he has pretty okay clashes. He definitely won't win a clash in Mirror Dungeon 2. Hard, I'm just telling you that right now. But if you want to use him to maybe use a bleed team in the future, go ahead. And remember that he is a standard character, so you can pull him anytime. So there's no rush. You don't have to immediately pull this guy unless you really like his design. Okay, so summary of the banner, really simple. Rodion, a tank and no damage at all, and poise count but no poise potency, so the crit chance is pretty damn low. Quite shit. I don't like her. Rhino Meursault follows the same design as W Dawn and Reindeer, but the charge count gain way is by blocking enemies. That's how you get a lot of charge count. And furthermore, his stat lines are almost the same as Encore Meursault. Yep. So the only reason you would probably pull him is because you want the bleed count synergy to maybe go with a bleed team, or you want his elements. So his typings is quite similar to I think Reindeer in that it's also purple, pale, and well, not lust. For Reindeer it's wrath, for him it's lust. So yeah, you can get the typings as well. Usually if you're a charge based character, you have a envy and a gloom skill here. So he's just following the design of those characters. Yeah. Alright, so that is it for my review of these characters. I think if you want to skip, I recommend you to skip. Limited banners are coming, maybe. So just hold out for those, because usually those are strong in most gacha games. Besides that, if you like the design of Rhino Meursault, feel free to get him. If you want to just play for fun, then yeah, sure, go get him. If you are Meta Slave, I would say just don't bother with him. I'm also going to skip him. Yeah, I think that's it. Leave a comment if you got any other thoughts about these characters. And yeah, that is all. Thank you all for watching. And I shall see you in a little bit because I'm going to go record the other video right now. Bye-bye.